Heya Cryptozens. Tonight's show, 3 Arrows Capital falls. It's 10 p.m. Pacific time. The date is June 16th, 2022, and I'm going to wish my wife a very happy birthday. Welcome back to the Crypto Overnighter. My name is Nicodemus, and I'll be your host. The cover model, mascot, and co-host for this podcast is Tex, and together we take a nightly look at the crypto, NFT, and metaverse space and the industry that surrounds it. Take a minute. Go ahead and subscribe to the podcast now, because we're here at 10 p.m. each and every night so that when you leave in the morning, you're taking with you the crypto news analysis that you need to start your day. And keep in mind, nothing in this show should ever be considered financial advice. So we touched on this briefly last night. 3 Arrows Capital. I think it's fair to say that they failed. They got liquidated. 3 Arrows Capital, or 3AC, is a well-known crypto hedge fund. It was everywhere. Multiple GameFi, DeFi projects it was invested in. At one point, at least, it had $10 billion in assets under management. Now, it was started in 2022 by a couple of classmates, Kyle Davies and Zhu Su. Last April, 3AC said they were moving. They were moving their headquarters from Singapore to Dubai. And they weren't the only ones. A number of other companies have either moved or stated that they're going to move to Dubai. At the time, Suzu called Dubai's crypto industry. They said it had, quote, electric energy. I suspect that move is in jeopardy at best. For the uninitiated, in traditional finance, liquidations happen when companies, they try to cover their debts. They sell assets and they end up selling them at a loss. In DeFi, the fund or the protocol, they sell their crypto at a loss if needed to cover the debt. And people could see this coming. We talked about it last night, and we certainly weren't the first to notice. Danny Wan noticed. Now, he's the CEO of 8Blocks Capital, and 8Blocks Capital is a trading firm. Anyway, Mr. Wan started asking the platforms that are holding 3 Arrows Capital's capital to freeze it. He said he wants their assets frozen. You see, 8Blocks Capital was a client of 3AC, and as a client, Mr. Wan and 8Blocks Capital were paying to use the company's trading accounts they own, accounts they weren't allowed to use. And in that agreement that they were paying for was the ability to withdraw those funds anytime they wish. The CEO said, quote, "We had known them since 2018. Thought they were competent and didn't think they were degen enough to lose billions and not employ basic risk management." And he was right. At least that's how it seemed. And it seemed like that all the way up until June 13th, because it was on June 13th that 8Blocks Capital requested a big withdrawal. And they wanted this, they needed this, they thought, to respond to market conditions. And they got no answer from 3AC. In his Twitter thread, he wrote, quote, "After a while, the market stabilized, so we no longer needed the funds. We thought maybe they were just busy," which is incredibly forgiving, to be honest. If I wanted to withdraw a bunch of money and I was flat ignored, I'd have a problem with that. So 8Blocks Capital just kind of wrote it off. Maybe they were busy. Now that's bad enough. But then some money came up missing. And that's never good. So what happened is that they noticed that there was $1 million gone from one of their accounts that was associated with 3AC. So 8Blocks tries to get a hold of 3AC. Mr. Wan said that they reached out to Kyle Davies. They wanted to know where their missing $1 million went. They got nothing. And they weren't alone. Rumors started flying. So 8Blocks Capital went public with the situation and with what they know. Other groups started to get in touch with them. Groups that, like 8Blocks, had some sort of a working relationship with 3AC. So that's when they took to Twitter and started asking platforms to freeze 3AC's holdings until this all gets sorted out. At the time of writing, the global crypto market cap is $891.3 billion. It's down 7.91% in 24. The top 5 cryptos by market cap are Bitcoin down 8.18%, Ethereum down 11.02%, Tether, USDC, and Binance Coin down 8.11%. Finblocks, they have their own concerns. Now, Finblocks is a crypto yield generator. They were founded by Peter Hong and Dmitry Paunin in 2011. They help investors buy and earn yield. They're offering returns of like 5% on Bitcoin and Ethereum and 12% on stable coins like USDC and USCT. Well, they're setting their first monthly withdrawal limit, and they've been around since 2011. So they've set it to $1,500, and they're turning off the tap on those 5 and 12% staking rewards. Last March, they raised a $3.9 million in a seed round. Investors included MSA Capital, CoinFund, and 3AC. And so this whole situation with one of their investors has them concerned. In addition to the withdrawal limits and stopping the staking rewards, they are also delaying their referral programs and disabling creating crypto addresses for new users. In their announcement on the changes, they said that they were, quote, pursuing all available options to evaluate the effect of 3AC on the liquidity. This set of actions is a necessary move in such a highly volatile market, and we believe should help us and our community to manage the effect. Which I don't blame them, because they're in the same kind of business as Celsius. So you all know those high yield providers with those crazy high yields, they're already nervous, because that's what Celsius did. They had to pause their withdrawals, and you see where they are now. They've got to come up with something to boost their investor confidence, and they are clearly concerned about confidence. Finblocks' website states that it offers, quote, peace of mind with $45 million insurance on assets. Their statement said, quote, Finblocks will do everything in its power to protect users' funds and reinstate our services in full. And of course, Zuzu saw this coming. Right about 48 hours ago, on last Tuesday, he put out a tweet that got people's attention. He said, quote, we are in the process of communicating with relevant parties and fully committed to working this out. And this really all goes back to the Terra Luna Black Swan event. Okay, yeah, the market's dumping, but it was the Terra Luna thing that kicked this all into overdrive. Because 3AC lost a ton of money. They were heavily invested in Terra. So when Terra UST lost its peg and pulled Luna down with it, 3AC has already been hurt. At the time, 3AC bought $10.9 million worth of Luna. Today, it's worth less than $700. So what did they do? Well, they started things off by dumping staked Ethereum, which is becoming the thing to do these days. It's because of groups like 3AC dumping staked ETH that the price is down 40% in the last week. So, 3AC starts dumping their crypto assets at a 40% loss off the bat. But you don't sell staked ETH at ETH prices, not today anyway. Today, you sell staked ETH at staked ETH prices. Because people have been dumping staked ETH so much recently, it's off 7%. Its price is down 7% compared to regular Ethereum. And this has been causing problems for a lot of people, because a number of people and groups are using staked Ethereum as collateral. Celsius is one of them. So, remember that big crash for Terra really only happened on the 12th. And so it came to pass that around that time, 3AC started withdrawing their staked Ethereum from decentralized platforms in May. As recently as Tuesday, they withdrew more than 81,000 staked Ethereum. It had been sitting in their Aave account making interest. It was worth around $92 million. So they took a loss. They traded 38,900 staked Ethereum for 36,718 regular Ethereum. That's a 6% loss on that one, due to the iniquity on price. Now, it should have been much closer to a one-to-one transaction. So that puts them around $43.9 million worth of Ethereum. And that ETH all went to Aave to pay back their loan. Now, if you think about it like that, it makes sense. Staked Ethereum is effectively a stable coin. It's supposed to have a one-to-one relationship, but staked Ethereum has lost its peg. Rumor has it that 3AC is also heavily invested in the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust as well. And so it appears that BlockFi, they fired the first fatal blow. According to the Financial Times anyway, They said BlockFi, quote, was among the groups that liquidated at least some of 3AC's positions. The global NFT market cap is up over $12.24 billion. It had been stuck at $12.22 billion for a while. Sales volume is down 5.18% in 24 hours. According to CoinMarketCap, the top 5 NFT collections by sales volume are Bored Apes, followed by Otherdeed, CloneX, Mutant Apes, and CryptoPunks. Now keep in mind, some of these collections have very volatile prices, so do your own research. Yuri Mushkin is BlockFi's chief risk officer. He told the Financial Times that BlockFi exercised its best business judgment with a large client that failed to meet its obligations. He was quick to point out that BlockFi was holding collateral in excess of the size of the loan, and he reassured the public that BlockFi's risk management policies are set, that BlockFi should be able to continue functioning during these difficult market conditions. BlockFi's CEO, Zach Prince, he took to Twitter and commented on the situation as well. He confirmed that a massive liquidation took place. He didn't say BlockFi. He said a client, quote, failed to meet its obligations on an over-collateralized margin loan. He said that they fully liquidated the collateral for that loan. Now notice, they didn't say it was Three Arrows Capital. They didn't say it was them. And while they have said that their policy is not to name names, it sure looks like it was Three Arrows Capital, just because of the conditions. And nobody else is talking. None of the other companies have confirmed liquidating 3AC's collateral assets. However, Durbit's talking. They're a crypto derivatives exchange, and they claimed that 3AC is a shareholder of their parent company. They said Durbit has, quote, a small number of accounts that have a net debt to us that we consider as potentially distressed. However, they also said, even in the event that none of this debt is repaid to us, we will remain financially healthy and operations will not be impacted. We can confirm all customer funds are safe and the full insurance fund will remain intact as is. Mr. Wan of 8 Blocks Capital tweeted, quote, a lot of people have reached out about what they know, many of whom have direct relationships with 3AC as well. What we learned is that they were leveraged long everywhere and getting margin called. Instead of answering the margin calls, they ghosted everyone. The platforms had no choice but to liquidate their positions, causing the markets to further dump. Folks, this is a big one. 3AC was entangled in a lot of businesses, a lot of DeFi especially. I don't know where all those tentacles go, who they were partners with, what businesses they were co-owners with. And like it said, no choice but to liquidate their positions, causing the markets to further dump, and dump it will. Because this damage is beyond 3AC. It's beyond the damage to their business partners. Think about the damage to Ethereum. Because right now, staked Ethereum's reputation is lower than that of a politician. Okay, maybe not that far, but you get my point. Nobody's buying it unless it's at a steep discount and discounted against Ethereum as well. I think that the damage done by Do Kwon and Terraform Labs is just now being revealed. It's going to go far worse than any of us had ever thought. And that's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. If you enjoyed tonight's show, like, comment, subscribe. Give us a glowing review, because that helps other people find their way to this podcast. Do you have questions or comments? Reach out and let us know. The email address is nick@cryptoovernighter.com. That's nick@cryptoovernighter.com. Or come find us on YouTube. Leave me a comment and maybe I'll read it into the next episode. You stay safe out there. You watch out for yourselves, but watch out for each other. We'll see you tomorrow night.